I have one question for you. Two, actually. What if we could make science accessible to everyone? And what if art was part of that equation? Science is often seen as universal knowledge, but the reality is that it's far from universal. Access to it. I came from Mozambique as a PhD student with a scholarship that was gave to me from a program that gave opportunity to young students that came from Portuguese-speaking African countries to pursue their dreams of becoming scientists. And today, my dream came true. I hold a PhD in biomedicine, and I work as a molecular biology researcher, developing tools to diagnosing and monitoring cancer. But when I first entered the university back at home in Mozambique, I had no idea what biotechnology even was, because I've never met anyone who worked with biotechnology. And science was for me a very distant concept. It was later, when I started my PhD, when I met scientists from diverse backgrounds, that I realized the true power of access to knowledge. And since then, one question never left my mind. What if science was accessible to everyone? How many scientists could emerge if the opportunity was simple there? And I go even further. What if the cure for cancer, for example, lies in the hands of one child back in Mozambique that has no idea what science is? But here, back in Europe, we often assume that every child has access to science, but it's far from the reality. Many of the outreach programs that are made are toward children that already have access to science. And in underprivileged neighborhoods like Cova da Moura here in Portugal, that is a neighborhood that was made by immigrants that is often forgotten and marginalized. Many children don't have access to science. They don't meet scientists. They don't see role models in science or technology. And as a result, very few become scientists. Not because they don't have the capacity to it, but because the doors to these opportunities, they are closed. That's why I joined Science on the Walls, a project where we merge science and arts to create something extraordinary, access to science to every child. Science on the Walls was born in 2021 with a simple and powerful mission to ensure that every child has access to science. We create spaces where the community, artists, and the scientists together create access to knowledge. Cova da Moura, it's a neighborhood that is known for its vibrant arts, where the walls tell their stories. So we thought, what if we could use something that already belongs to the community, that is art, to open the doors to science? So we started working with scientists to make complex scientific ideas into simple, hands-on, and exciting ideas. We also team up with artists to make this science visual, attractable, relatable, and alive in the walls of the community. And of course, we teamed up with local role models because we believe that empowerment is what truly matters. Over the years, we have, with our activities, reached more than 300 children, collaborated with more than 100 artists, and scientists from more than 20 nationalities belonging to different Lisbon research institutes. As you can see, everyone is willing to help. And in our last summer camp that was held in September, we joined everyone together, artists, children, and scientists. The artists explained the concept to a child, to the children, and then the children, in their own words, explained what they understood to the artists that drew that in a mural or a frame. Through their own imagination, kids transformed science into art, something that was colorful, vivid, and real. And we even went further. We brought dance into the mix to explain the science behind movement. We explained how our bodies, our energy, and our balance work together to create rhythm. It was one of the activities the kids loved the most because they could feel science in their bodies. So activities like these, they show the kids that science can be something exciting. They spark curiosity. They show the kids, they inspire dreams to the kids, and they show that science can be part of our everyday life. And most importantly, they create the connectivity between the scientists, the kids, the artists in the local community. But science on the walls is not about me standing here explaining to you what we do. It's about the community. The power itself lies in the community, in the children that start to believe in themselves and knows that they can be capable with their curiosity and they can make everything that they dream alive. And in the walls that no longer divide us, but connects us through knowledge. And nobody embodies that better than António Santos, a resident from Cova da Moura and an incredible mind behind the startup Windcredible. António Santos have collaborated with us in a lot of our activities where he shared his journey with the kids to show them that they too can become great. And also that biggest ideas can start right where they are. António.
Thank you, Benilde. The question on your minds are probably, who am I and why am I here? No, I'm not Benilde's bodyguard. I'm here because I believe that possibility cannot depend on luck. Today, I'm a co-founder and CEO of Windcredible, a startup that is bringing micro wind turbines through efficiency and compact products. Wind turbines that result of a teamwork of over more than 15 years of research and development. And our mission is simple: provide democratized energy. Because when energy is accessible, the progress is possible. But how did I get here? It was a long and unusual path. I was born in Cova da Moura, a neighborhood full of live music, culture, and talent, but also full of noise. Things are different there. The playgrounds, the sounds, the schedule, the language, the people, even the rhythm of life itself is different. My primary school was 20 seconds away from my house. My prep school was like 1 minute away, and my high school was 2 minutes away. So my education was wrapped up in this bubble when there was no engineers, there was no scientists, there was no laboratories, just curiosity and noise. Before I became an entrepreneur, I work in several places. The one that was my real job was as like a post office working at CTT, when I learned a lot about self-improvement and manage myself as a worker in the community. It was my first real job. Then I came to age and I became a paratrooper. Being part of the military taught me about discipline and teamwork. And jumping off a plane, believe me, it gives you courage and resilience. After that, I joined GNR, Guarda Nacional Republicana, a military police force that protects people all across the country and a little bit abroad. At first, I worked as a patrol officer, getting to know more people and their bests and on their worst, when they needed us and even when they didn't need us. But I wanted a little bit more. So I joined the intervention unit, the riot police. I wanted to use my body to work towards the community. But it wasn't really how I felt about the community. So I thought, there's got to be another tools to help. So I joined the Portuguese Air Force when I rediscovered my love for electronics and technology. I learned from the best. And that brought me back to GNR, where I was deployed in East Timor for a mission. That preparation and mission took almost a year. It was a transformative moment because there I resembled myself with the people, because I saw what happened to people when they lack not only safety, but when they lack education, opportunity, and knowledge. That experience changed me completely. So I realized that education is the real form of freedom. Years later, I connected myself with Science on the Walls by the hand of Benilde and a wonderful team. Bringing scientists and artists together to my community and inspire the kids like I was. When science becomes art, knowledge becomes color, curiosity becomes confidence. And when you see a children's eyes light up and understand the scientific concept for the first time, I see myself when I was a young kid. And I'm always wondering, what if there was science on the walls when I was growing up? With my colleagues, with my friends. Maybe some of them would be still alive. Maybe some of them would be the scientists making progress that we so need today. So, I believe that the possible is done and the impossible will be done. And thanks to Science on the Walls, I believe that this is the edge of possible.
Thank you, Antonio. So, stories like the one of Antonio shows us what happens when opportunity meets creativity and when the community truly comes together to create something big. So now, let's imagine a world where every child has access to science in their houses, in their schools, in their walls, and in their lives. That world is possible, and we are creating it. We are working to expand Science on the Walls into more communities, into more cities, and one day, more countries. I dream about the day when Science on the Walls can reach more kids like me back in Mozambique. But for that, we need help. We need you to join to Science on the Walls, because when we join forces, that can be possible. We can reach more kids. And also, we want to make local change makers the leaders of the access to knowledge. So you can be part of that dream. Together, let's paint the edge of what's possible. Thank you.